the gates and ready to go. Welcome in to this live Wednesday edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. So glad to have you with us. Coming up on today's show, we'll go over the latest news and rumors on your Seattle Seahawks, including a potential return for Jason Peters. Also, we'll tell you how Tyrel Dodson has impressed to begin the 2024 campaign. Plus, we'll take an updated look at the Seahawks depth chart where things stand heading into Week 4 with some notable changes. We will also preview Monday's matchup between the Seahawks and the Lions. And we'll wrap up things with the Q&A mailbag. Get your questions in using hashtag Seahawks or super chatting to get on today's show. As you guys file in, shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get this show off and rolling. We're coming at you from the Chat Sports Studios in downtown Dallas, Texas here on this Wednesday afternoon. I, folks, am supposed to be on a plane right now. I am supposed to be headed towards Tampa Bay, Florida, but there's a big hurricane that is approaching, so I had to cancel my flight. So I am here with you all a little later than we initially anticipated. We were going to do an earlier show, but change of plans. So I am here. I'll be honest, not in the best of moods today. Not a great day for yours truly. So I certainly could use a drink or two to drown my sorrows away and see my vacation just ruined thanks to this damn hurricane. Where are you guys at? I got Steve in Seattle. I got Busters in Roy, Washington. I got Ian in Auburn, Washington. Relax saying I'm scared of hurricanes. No, actually, I'm not scared of hurricanes, but where I was supposed to stay got put under mandatory evacuation. So I had nowhere to stay. I had no choice. I couldn't go. So I'm stuck here for the weekend, unfortunately. Let's see. We got Caleb checking in from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, from Oregon. Good to see you, Caleb. I got Scott saying go Hawks. I got Ian saying make the shots $5 today. Maybe so. Who knows? Dark Diamond saying he's checking in from Diddy's house in New York. Yikes. Brandon in Indiana. I got Scott in Astoria. Cecil in Olympia. Thriller in South Seattle. Seth says his brother lives in Florida preparing for the hurricane. Crazy Florida guy says shout out from Florida hurricane party time. Thomas in Rochester, Minnesota. Cody in the Tri-Cities in Kennewick. Got Cheferton in Spokane. Got Relax in California. Phobius has got family in Panama City Beach. All right, so we've been running through each position group over the last few weeks, trying to see how many Seahawk players you can name. Now let's shift gears to the safety position. Who can come up with the most safeties all time? Doesn't matter if they're starters or backups, whoever. How many can you come up with in your individual comment? We will test the chat and see who can come up with the most as Smitty joins me right now on the ones and twos today. And good news, folks, Smitty will be with us on Monday night for the Seahawks and Lions matchup on Monday Night Football. Smitty, welcome to the show, as always.
Yes, sir.
First off, the safety position. We don't want to give away too much. Oh, my Lord. Buster Customs. We'll get to Busters here in just a second. But the safety position, I'll say this without giving away too much, has been very good over the years to the Seahawks. Some very notable names.
I mean, basically since the 2010s dawned, like Seattle's had that's been one of their strong suits. It's something that this Seahawks team has hung their hat on is the safety position and the level of intensity that those guys back there at the third level of defense play with. And I'm glad that the Seahawks are continuing that not tradition, but run of great safety play here with Julian Love and hopefully Rayshawn Jenkins as he comes along in his first year as a Seahawk.
Yeah, I like what I've seen from Jenkins and from Julian Love both. Those are two I'll give you. That's the only two I'll say, but everybody should know those anyway. How many safeties can you come up with? Let's test the chat right now of how many names come to mind. Cameron's got one. And my least favorite of them all, Jamal Adams, I cannot stand. I despise that man with a passion, only in football terms, not personally. Caleb's got two. Let's see. Relax. Ian's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's the most so far is Ian with 8. Can anyone do more than 8 safeties? Smitty, how many do you think, without giving away any names, do you think you could come up with?
I think I could probably get 10. I think I could get 10.
Okay. Can anyone beat Smitty's number of 10? And if we need to, we can test Smitty on the 10 he could come up with. But I want to check in the chat and see if somebody can come up with more than 10. So far, Relaxian's got the most with 8 so far. How about this to start the show? We got a $200 super chat. Bang! Bang! That's his message from last week, actually.
Oh.
Buster's saying, drink up! Buster's, that's 2 spots to the Emerald Club. I will gladly drink up for you.
It was the drink up one.
Yeah. I don't know why that's pulling from last week, but I will drink up accordingly. Buster's, hopefully things are better with the family and the situation there with the car wreck. Hopefully you're all right, man. As far as that goes, certainly we were thinking of you.
Here now.
A little technical problem. There we go. Drink up. I will gladly drink up Buster's. Everybody spam Buster's in the chat. I owe him. I'm going to do 4 beer bongs here because, like I said, I should be in Florida on vacation right now. Instead, I'm here. So I need to drink as if I'm on vacation with y'all. So 4 beer bongs for Buster Customs. Everybody spam Buster's. Buster's, let me know who you want to induct in the Emerald Club as I drown my sorrows away. Cheers to you, Buster Customs. Love you, my guy. He just followed me on Instagram the other day. I gave Buster's a follow back, of course. He was, by the way, Smitty, Buster's big car guy, obviously, and works in the auto industry. I saw some of his photos of some of his cars. This guy's got quite the collection.
I mean, you can't just run around calling yourself Buster's Customs if you're not having the custom collection, if you're not having some high-end vehicles, and BC's got them.
Smitty, what was your first car?
Well, my first car is nothing glamorous. It was an '06 Chrysler Sebring convertible.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, I wasn't driving
Chick magnet.
Yeah, absolute chick magnet. I wasn't driving that thing on the road for very long. It was like a lowrider. It was ridiculous. I could barely see out of that thing.
My first car was a 2001 Ford Expedition.
Ooh.
Lot of room, very comfortable. Gas mileage was atrocious.
I'm sure it was atrocious. I'm
like
sure it sounded
13 miles on a gallon.
I'm sure it sounded like a lawnmower when you drove it.
It did. I had about a 15-minute drive to school every day, and I think I was filling up about every week.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I used to.
Cheers to Buster's.
My proudest car, I guess the car I had the longest, 2010 Kia Forte. Had that up until I moved down here to Texas.
That was my second car.
Yeah, Kia Forte. It gets you from point A to point B, man.
I liked my Forte.
It's good stuff.
I had
good mileage.
I had a 2018 Kia Forte. Really liked it. Got great mileage. I could get like 40 or 50 on the highway. And then, unfortunately, I was driving in the snow in Nebraska, and some moron ran a red light and crashed into me and totaled my Kia Forte. Oh, no. Yeah, so I've been driving a Chevy Trailblazer ever since.
Terrible.
Buster's first car, I like this. A 47 Chevy truck.
Whoa.
I bet that thing was awesome.
I'm sure it looked beautiful.
Buster's, tell me about some of your favorite vehicles you got, Buster's. I'm very curious what you got. I've seen some pictures. Give me some that come to mind as some of your favorites as I take my 3rd beer bong for Buster Customs.
3rd beer bong for Buster. Shout out to him. The man, the myth, the legend.
Jefferton wants to know, what the hell were you doing in Nebraska? I was living there. I lived there for a year, and I quickly got out of there. Let's see. Ian drove a 91 Civic. Nathan drove an 84 Buick Rivera, then a 93 Mustang convertible. Matthew drove a 98 Chevy Blazer. Okay. The Blazer. Okay. So I love that this conversation happened organically. Talking about our first vehicles, as I had to open up another beer for Buster Customs, getting us to 200.
Here is the Super Chat menu for those who are wondering what you can do to donate to the show. $sign next to the chat box.
Yes, that's how you can contribute. Shefferton drove a 99 Buick. Let's see. What else we got here? Mike drove a 68 Olds 442.
Ooh.
Phobia drove an 06 Camry. Did you ever see the movie Paul Blart Mall Cop?
Yeah, I've seen it.
One of my favorite Kevin James movies. There's not a ton to choose from, though. I like Kevin James. Loved him on King of Queens. That's your neck of the woods.
Yep, the King Queens. He's good stuff. Here Comes the Boom is a good good
My
Kevin
eyes
James
are
flick.
getting eerie. My back is getting tight. So Kevin James, where was I going with this? Oh, yes, in Mall Cop. One of my favorite lines in that movie, the total douchebag that is with the girl that Paul Blart is trying to get with. He's bragging. He says, "Dude, I own a Camry." Yes, that's a game changer. You own a Camry, okay? Cheers to Buster Customs. Last beer bong.
Shout out to Buster. Caleb with a 1978 Firebird.
So here's some of the cars Buster has. 68 Camaro. Oh, that's a hot rod.
Beautiful.
55 Porsche Speedster.
Whoa.
32 Ford Hillboy, or Highboy. 57 Chevy. 71 Nova. 60 Mercury Monterey, and a 71 Firebird. Seth had a 01 Mitsubishi. Clayton had a 74 BMW Bug. Caleb had a 78 Firebird. Let's see. What else we got? Sonny with a 98 Dodge Durango. Very cool. Very cool to see the chat. Everybody talking about their cars. Phobia with a 69 Chevelle SS. Okay. I like that. I like that too. All right. Let's spam the chat now. If you want a shout out from Smitty. And Busters, I didn't see your comment if you had nominees for the Emerald Club. Maybe you wrote it and I missed it, or you haven't sent it in yet, but let me know who you'd like on the Emerald Club. I want everybody over this next minute, the spam S. Smitty's going to shout out all the S's over this next minute. Who's going to be the early favorite to be the MVP? Let's see how many S's we can get over the next minute. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spam S.
Here we go. Spam S. I'm giving out shout-outs to everybody who is commenting today because it helps our algorithm, helps us get the show out to as many people as possible. Appreciate my guy Steve J. Appreciate Matthew Stratton as well. Come on. I want to see more S's in the chat. Shout out Tyler Holbert. It's a great first name, my man.
Yes.
David O. Caleb Tyzan. Here we go. Daniel Maxwell. Steve J. Nathan. Here we go. Come on. Keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Mike Dainty. Phobia. Daniel. Tyler. Steve. Ryan Taylor, let's go. Ian, come on. Shout out Ian, my guy. One crazy Florida guy. Steve J. Hector Rivera. Here we go. Thomas Carpenter. Mike Daney. Seth K. Aloha. How you doing, my man? Danielle Moore. Mike Dainty. Seeing some of the real ones here in the chat right now. Leonardo Rodriguez. Seth, Mike, Caleb, Danielle, Daniel. Mike, Hector, Francisco. Let's go. Keep spamming those S's in the chat. Let's get this chat loud like Lumen Field. We got a big game coming up on Monday. 10 seconds left. Who is going to be the big MVP? Caleb Tyson, Danielle, Ian, Mike, Seth, Caleb, Danielle, Leonardo, Matthew, Steve, Phobia, Ian, Mike, Caleb, crazy Florida guy, Seth. You guys absolutely murdered it in the chat. Let's go.
All right, Busters, I got an idea, actually, for one of the entries. I would, but I'm only going to do this if you approve, Buster. I think because I'm here right now and not in Tampa, courtesy of Hurricane Helene. We should probably should we give a Hall of Fame spot, a spot in the Emerald Club to Helene?
Oh no. Oh no.
Helene, since you took my vacation away and I'm here at work, should Helene go in the Emerald Club? I think that'd only be fitting at this point. Let me know, Busters. Let me know what you decide when it comes to your Emerald Club spots. It's not your choice. It's not my choice. It's your choice. Let me know what you decide. But Helene, I think that'd be very fitting if that was the case. Buster says random. Okay, so I'll give one to Helene. Hurricane Helene, you devil, ruining my vacation. Now I'm here. It's okay. I'll be in Phoenix next week, so don't feel too bad.
Is our guy Caleb in there?
Caleb's on, I think, multiple times. Smitty, I'll let you pick.
What about Matthew Stratton?
I don't think Matthew's on.
Get Matthew on there.
Matthew Stratton, welcome to the Emerald Club. Matthew, I see a lot of S's on your part. You were spamming the chat. Thanks for getting involved. You are now forever a Emerald Club member, and you will be addressed as such from this day going forward. They can't take it away from you. They're not going to treat you like what Diddy's going through right now.
Oh, no.
You are going to be an Emerald Club member until the end of time. So congratulations to Matthew for your spot in the Emerald Club. Everybody spam Matthew, spam Helene for their new membership in the Emerald Club. If you're ready to start today's show, like the video. Simple as that. Smitty, what's the thing you say about it's like taking off your shoes?
It's like taking off your shoes when you're a guest at somebody's home. It's the common courtesy thing to do. When you come into the stream, you hit the thumbs up icon. Helps us out. Help us help you. Helps us produce more content. The more better numbers we do, the more content we put out.
There you have it. So like the video. We're at 51 likes. We'll get this thing started. If we reach 300 in super chats today, I will do a jungle boot. And I got to tell you, I'm not going to make Smitty do any drinking whatsoever.
I can't. I'm on antibiotics. It's crazy.
Oh, you are? Ooh.
Yeah.
You're in bad shape then.
I'm bad shape.
Is this still the same stuff you've been dealing with?
Flu game. Nah, I'm not sick anymore. I'm on my last couple of doses here. I just got to finish the bottle.
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm not really trying.
I mean, is it the same stuff you've been dealing with the last couple of weeks?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so Smitty's on the recovery. He's getting close. I will drink. I'm more than happy to drink today because I should be drinking on the beach. Instead, I will drink with you guys. So if you want to get us to 300 and me to do Jungle Boot, I would be happy to by all means. We're just 100 away from reaching that. Here's what's on today's show. The latest news and rumors in your Seattle Seahawks. We're talking Jason Peters and Tyrel Dodson. We'll also got an update on the Seahawks depth chart that we'll get to. We'll preview Monday's game against the Detroit Lions, and then we'll do a Q&A mailbag as well. Use, hashtag Chiefs or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of the show. What'd you say? Oh, no. Hashtag Seahawks. Wrong show. Hashtag Seahawks to get on the mailbag portion of the show. I did not say what you thought I said. All you heard was Seahawks, folks. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the show. Coming up next, news and rumors, and then we'll go from there. Let's go ahead and get started with our first segment as we get rolling here on this Wednesday afternoon. Jonesy and Smitty here with you. Glad to have you with us. Thanks for spending your Wednesday afternoon here on the channel. We will go ahead and get going now as we continue here on Seahawks Today. We'll talk Jason Peters and Tyrel Dodson. That begins here on today's show. Let's go ahead and get rolling. Coming up on today's show, will Jason Peters make a return to Seattle? He had a free agency visit on Tuesday. We'll explain what exactly is going on with that in just a matter of moments. Also, Tyrel Dodson's off to a strong start to 2024. He's impressed early so far this season. We'll tell you what exactly is going on with him and what he's had to say about his first year with the Seahawks coming up in just a matter of moments. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. I want to set a record here on today's show, folks. The most likes we've received on a single video for the month of September, pretty good, 917. But I think we can do better than that. Can we get 1,000 likes on today's video? Chase Sr. at the 49ers Report said we couldn't do it. I think we can prove him wrong. Like the video. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Let's stick it to the Niners, and we'll get going here on Seahawks Today. Bring back Jason Peters. It's an idea, and it's one the Seahawks are currently discussing. The Seahawks hosted the 42-year-old offensive tackle for a free agency visit on Tuesday. I think Jason Peters might be old enough to be my dad at this point, but anyways, Phil Yates putting out this tweet saying the Seahawks hosted veteran offensive tackle Jason Peters on a free agent visit. The 42-year-old played in 8 games with Seattle last season. But it doesn't appear that a signing is imminent, at least according to Aaron Wilson, who said the following: no immediate deal for the Seahawks and Jason Peters, per a league source. So then the question becomes, if we're really spending the time talking to a 42-year-old Jason Peters, who wasn't that great, in all honesty, last year when he played for Seattle, are the Seahawks really that desperate at this point in time? Has it gotten that bad with the offensive line, with the offensive tackle position, that the Seahawks are that desperate for help that they would need to call a 42-year-old Jason Peters off the street? Well, you look at the Seahawks offensive line and you see, okay, you're down Abraham Lucas, you're down George Fant, you're starting Stone Forsythe, who has not looked very good there at that right tackle position. And the guys behind them, you have a former UDFA and McClendon Curtis, Mike Jarrell, who is a rookie and was a late day 3 pick here at this point. The answer to that question is, sadly, yes, we are that desperate. We have reached that point where a workout for Jason Peters, as crazy as it sounds at 42 years of age, makes sense for this Seahawks team. There's not a ton of options out there for what these Seahawks could do. Now, there's no arguing that Jason Peters has an impressive resume, a 9-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time first-team All-Pro, a Super Bowl champion, but he's a shade of his former self. You look at the numbers of what he did in those 8 games with the Seahawks last year. His overall grade, according to PFF, wasn't very good, a 53.9. Run block grade of 71.2. That was pretty solid, but his pass block grade was atrocious, a 45.1 in 215 snaps. So let's ask you now, your chance to be John Schneider. Should the Seahawks really sign Jason Peters at this point? Is that what we're looking at here? What do you think? Type S for sign, P for pass. Weigh in, let us know. Seahawks Today will be live for the Seahawks matchup with the Detroit Lions coming up this Monday night. Our coverage begins at 7:15 Eastern, 4:15 Pacific. I'll be here. Smitty will be here. The only thing missing is you. You need to be here. Subscribe now, and you will be the first to know when we go live here on the channel. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Don't miss out. Seahawks and Lions right here, and we will see you then. Tyrel Dodson, one of the newest members of the Seattle Seahawks, has impressed through the first 3 weeks of the 2024 campaign, and he's doing so in a number of different ways, as he's the green dot, the de facto leader of this Seahawks defense, and so far, he's been a natural fit for what Mike Macdonald is looking to do with this defense. You look at his grades, according to PFF, solid overall grade of 70.0. Run defense needs a little work, a 41. Pass rush grade is 61.2. He did have that sack last week, though. His coverage grade, that's a big difference, in 84.8, which is considerably better than what we had seen from the previous linebackers when it came to coverage. That was a big weakness for Bobby Wagner. If any of y'all watched the Monday night game against the Cincinnati Bengals, Bobby was having a rough go at it in coverage. Jordan Brooks, of course, has never been a good coverage linebacker. He's in Miami now. We don't miss him. Tyrel Dodson is answering the call and doing a really good job, and he's gelling with his head coach. He had this to say this week on Mike Macdonald. I want to give a shout-out to Coach Mike. He's been showing us that formation since I got here. He just said, I see this formation, just go. I trust him, and made a big play for my team. And you look at the numbers of what he's done so far through the first 3 games. 23 tackles. He's got a sack, 2 TFLs, and 1 pass breakup. He's looked pretty good. And you think about the grades that he's put up so far to this point. You go back to that Dolphins game, he was the second highest graded defender for this entire Seahawks defense with a 77.3 overall grade. So his impact on this Seahawks team is being felt with his performances week in and week out. And I think we all specifically think about the play of the game for the Seahawks this past week was the goal line stand when they held the Dolphins out of the end zone. It was a huge play, and it was the first game all season that the Seahawks held their opposing team out of the end zone. Dodson had this to say when it came to that play. It felt really good. It's great when a team is knocking on the door for 4 downs and you don't let them win. I'm so proud of our defense because we're resilient. And he's absolutely right about that. Seahawks defense has certainly looked really good through these first 3 weeks of the season. More on Dodson and the linebacker room here in just a moment. But first, let's ask you, do you believe in Tyrel Dodson? Have you seen enough? Are you convinced that he's the guy? If so, type B for believe. If not, for whatever reason, type D for don't. Weigh in, let us know in the comments section. Today's show is sponsored by BetUS, the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. Go to chatsports.com/bet. Enter the promo code Seahawks125 for a 125% deposit bonus. When you put $100 down, you get $125 to spend for free at chatsports.com/bet. The odds for Monday's game, your Seahawks are an underdog in Detroit, 3.5. But you think about it, the home team gets 3. So closer than the experts think potentially here. Over under 46.5. Get your bets in now. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Seahawks125. More on Tyrel Dodson, the former UDFA out of Texas A&M, joined the Bills, and really last year was a breakout year for Dodson there with Buffalo and proved himself that he's a starter quality linebacker, signing with Seattle on March 14th, coming off a season where last year he was the second highest graded inside linebacker in the NFL with an 89.5 grade. And you think about where the Seahawks are at with the linebacker position right now. Dodson's running mate, Jerome Baker, is currently on the injury report, and he's been banged up a lot, really, since he arrived in Seattle. And with the way that Dodson has performed, Knight stepping up, we've heard the Seahawks, straight from their head coach, Mike Macdonald, applaud the performance from Drake Thomas. He said that he thinks that while Baker is out, that Knight and Thomas will rotate, that they'll both get playing time, that they've both earned that right to. You have to feel pretty good about this circumstance, especially when you consider that going into 2024, the linebacker position was a huge question mark for this Seahawks team, and these guys have answered the call. They've done a really good job, collectively speaking, with Dodson leading the way. Michael Sean Duggar of The Athletic put this tweet out in regards to the linebacker situation just the other day. He said, if Jerome Baker's hamstring is healthy, he'll play next to Tyrel Dodson, inside linebacker. But if Baker has to miss any more time, Mike Macdonald says he's not opposed to a rotation of Tyrese Knight, and Drake Thomas says Drake has earned that. And that's true. The real test, I think, is going to be this upcoming week. The Seahawks play the toughest team that they have faced in the first 4 weeks of the season. The Detroit Lions coming off an appearance in the NFC Championship game. They've looked decent to begin the season so far. Personally, the most I got to see of the Detroit Lions was that Sunday night game they had against the Rams. Very good win for them there. And you go on the road, a hostile environment. Let's see what these guys are made of. What can they do to slow down that explosive Detroit Lions offense? And think about this. The Seahawks have won their last 2 games against Detroit at Detroit the last 2 seasons. All right? Now you think about, all right, you're going back for a third time now. And these inside linebackers that the big emphasis has been on coverage, what are they going to do to stack up and try to hold down against this Lions high-powered attack? To me, that's going to be intriguing to see what they can put together. Is the Seahawks defense ready for the Detroit Lions? How are you feeling looking ahead to Monday's game? Weigh in, let us know. Y for yes, N for no, if you believe this defense is ready or not. If you enjoyed today's show, you'll want to set that likes record, well, there's only one thing to do. That's hit the like button. We certainly would appreciate it. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time right here on Seattle Seahawks Today. All right. That is one down, 3 more to go. Up next, we're going to go over the updated depth chart for the Seahawks. But first, let's ask you, should the Seahawks sign Jason Peters? Type S for sign, P for pass. It is our poll question right now as well. 66% of you saying yes, 34% saying no, as Smitty rejoins me right now. Smitty, 42-year-old Jason Peters, do you want him back in Seattle or not?
Look, can we be a serious franchise, please?
Why not David Bakhtiari?
I don't know why I know David Bakhtiari. I would probably call him if I was John Schneider, but I'm not John Schneider, and John Schneider called Jason Peters.
42 years old.
He's closer to collecting Social Security than he is to getting drafted to the NFL.
That's true. He's probably old enough to be both of our fathers at this point.
Yeah, he'd be a young dad.
He'd be a young dad, but 42 years old. You know, it's not like he's Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers here.
Yeah.
He's not that great, and we're considering a 42-year-old.
You saw what he got last year, and he didn't even play much. He wasn't even healthy in some instances.
Yeah.
Kind of a mind-boggling thing for me, but whatever. If you need depth that bad, go get Jason Peters, make him a call.
Zach says pass. Jason says pass.
Let's be honest here. Let's be a serious franchise. Let's not be a gimmick franchise. Let's not be clowned on.
Yeah, S for sign, P for pass. Let us know. We did have a super chat come in earlier while we were in the middle of that cut. I believe it was from the ZXK.
Yeah, here we go.
$2 super chat. The ZXKUQYB. I don't know what that means, but we appreciate the super chat.
Yep.
$2 super chat says the Seahawks are 29-12 on Monday Night Football, best in NFL history. And if you recall last year, the Seahawks had 2 Monday night games. One was against the G-Men, the other was against the Eagles. And they looked great both those nights.
Something about Monday Night Football. Something about the Hall of Famer Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. Something about
we get Joe and Troy this week
on the worldwide leader ESPN. I don't know. And there's also something about the Seahawks playing Detroit. I mean, last time, was a very successful. Oh my goodness. Last time we played Detroit was very successful.
That was a great game.
Yeah, great game. You had the Trey Brown pick 6 was cool, or was it Reek Woolen pick 6, Trey Brown pick?
Trey Brown had the pick 6.
Yeah, Trey Brown pick 6.
That was his best game of his entire season.
I believe Jarek Reed had a big hit in special teams on a punt. He laid the returner out, I think. And the receiver play was great. Geno played great. I think K9 had a successful day as well. But, yeah, I think they have a good shot at beating Detroit this year. Plus, the NFL has been weird. It would be very by the book for Detroit's offense to come alive in this game and roll through the Seahawks, who are probably just a little weaker roster-wise than Detroit. But the NFL has been weird this year. Dogs are winning outright. The dogs are hungry in the NFL. The underdog is the year of the underdog, the year of the kicker. So things the league is weird through 3 weeks. Could see a surprise Seattle win or a surprise Seattle decisive win.
All right, folks. Another big one from Buster's. Buster's making a statement here. Buster Customs with a $200 super chat. Bang! Bang! Busters! 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 Everybody spam Busters in the chat. That's 2 more spots in the Emerald Club for Buster Customs.
Let's go!
He says, come on, guys, get the party started. I'll continue to keep on drinking. Let's put down some more beer bongs here. Everybody spam Busters.
Busters, when I'm back at 100%, I got you, my man.
Busters, cheers to you, my guy. Wow, that puts us over $400. I got to do a jungle boot. Busters, I can't go through this show of getting these cuts without any spillage. So bear with me. I will pay off said boot after we get through our segments. It will happen, and it will be a jungle boot, but let's get through our segments just so we don't have any stains or whatever when we're trying to do these cuts. So we will pay that off and do so accordingly. But Busters, this is for you. Everybody spam Busters. David's excited. I can tell by that.
Let's go.
Let's go. Cheers to Busters.
Cheers to Busters. Beer bongs galore. When I'm back at 100%, I'll get back on the horse.
You'll be back 100% by Monday.
Yeah. By Monday, no doubt.
Yeah. So they said it was the flu for you?
Something like that. Nah, it was
Okay.
No, it was not the flu. It was this is something I was dealing with. We were all good though.
That's good. That's good. Let's see. More beer bongs as we continue here. Everybody keeps spamming Busters. I got two more of these. Mike says Buster Customs, that's the sponsor we all love. My favorite sponsor.
Seahawks Today, presented by Buster's Customs.
Yeah. You know, and what's funny enough is I've tried a couple times to get Buster's to promote his business, but like he hasn't done so. He's just about promoting the show and just being a Seahawk guy. So
Electric.
that's a great man. Buster says Seth and Crazy Florida Dude are now members of the Emerald Club. All right. Everybody spam Seth. Spam Crazy Florida Dude. Only fitting that Crazy Florida Dude would get a spot in the Emerald Club today with this damn hurricane that cost me my vacation. Crazy Florida Dude, give me a weather update. Where are you at? What's the situation of this hurricane? Are you going to be okay? You staying safe? Is it coming your direction? Where are you at? I need an update, Crazy Florida Dude. Tell me about what's going on in your situation. Cheers to Busters. Yeah, everybody spam Crazy Florida Dude, spam Seth. I'll put him in the Emerald Club. Crazy Florida Dude, we're putting a big FL for Florida on yours. Seth, and Steve says, sorry about the trip, Tyler. You know what, Steve? I'll be fine. I will live. I will just enjoy a PTO day tomorrow on my couch, I guess. There are worse things I could be doing. It's going to be okay. Let's see. Seth says we made it with some help, bro. Yeah. Here we are. Crazy Florida Dude. Seth, welcome to the Emerald Club. Spam Seth. Spam Crazy Florida Dude. Much deserving. Those guys have been very active in the chat for a long time, supporting the show. It is my great honor to welcome them to the Emerald Club. Congratulations, our newest Emerald Club members. Smitty, you've been part of the show 2 seasons now. It is incredible the rate that this boot is filling up.
Oh my God, yeah, this is record stuff. Record stuff. And
now, a big part because of Buster Customs, but still.
It's a testament to Buster Customs. It's a testament to all the 12s, though, who have donated and got on the Emerald Club.
Yeah, awesome. Like, the expectation is we try to have this filled by season end. We are entering week 4, and we are running out of space. We're going to need another boot here soon. We're going to auction off this thing. Buster's already says he wants it. Let's see. Another super chat coming in from Crazy Florida Guy. From the Florida man himself. Buster's already saying that's my boot. I can tell you this right now, Busters. It ain't even close. You're going to get the helmet that we're giving away at the end of the month. You're running away with that. That thing is yours. I'm not going to let anyone else have that, and it's going to be yours. So stay tuned for that, Busters. Busters, have you gotten any of the other stuff that we sent you yet? Crazy Florida Guy, I'm honored to be in the Emerald Club. We are honored to have you, Crazy Florida Guy. Welcome. Much deserved. Glad to have you in the Emerald Club, my guy. And then Seth also sent in a super chat, one of our newest Emerald Club members as well. Crazy Florida Guy with the weather update, by the way, said, Hurricane Party is going to go so hard. Enjoy it for me. I've never experienced a hurricane. I was hoping to. But Mother Nature had other plans. Seth saying, thank you, Busters. Much appreciated. Thanks for sending that in, Seth. Let's see. Busters, you haven't gotten your stuff yet? Stand by. We sent that off about a week ago. I don't know what the holdup is, but it should be arriving sooner than later, I would imagine. So stay tuned for that, Busters. We'll have you covered. Crazy Florida guy says, it stormed so bad this morning, my first class got canceled. Buster says the boot is going to be in the showroom at BNC Motorsports. Check out BNC Motorsports, the presenting sponsor of Seahawks today. Do we have Seth's Super Chat? Oh, okay. No worries. We'll get to that, and then we'll begin the next segment. Let's see. What else we got in the chat here? Crazy Florida guy giving us another weather update says, I got woken up by a single loud thunderstrike. We had a thunderstorm here in Dallas this morning. Did you get waken up by that? Did you hear it at all, Smitty?
No, I actually didn't get woken up by it, but I did see it. We got a lot of rain when I woke up this morning.
I got woken up by it. I thought I was in Florida for a moment, and then I'm like, oh, still here. There's Seth saying thank you, Busters. Thank you, Seth. Thank you, Busters Customs, for making that happen. Up next, it is our depth chart segment. We will break down the Seahawks' surprising depth chart update. Then we'll preview the Seahawks matchup with the Detroit Lions, and we'll wrap up with the Q&A mailbag before we get out of here on today's show. Let's go ahead and continue now with our depth chart breakdown right here on Seahawks Today. Here we go. You're watching Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. The Seahawks have undergone a number of changes to the depth chart since the season began, and most recently with George Fant going to injured reserve. What do things look like for your Seattle Seahawks? We will break it down coming up in just a moment. Before we do, all week long, we are battling our Lions channel in a sub-battle to see who can get the most subscribers between the two. My guy, Mike Kimber, Micro Mike, the host of Lions Talk, does an incredible job. He's a great man. He served our country, and he does a fantastic job here at Chat Sports. As much as I love Mike, I would love nothing more than to crush him in a sub-battle this week. We don't want to just beat the Lions on the football field. We want to beat them off the football field as well. Show why we have the best fans in the National Football League. Sub it up, sub for dubs, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. And make sure and join us coming up for our watch party on Monday night right here on the channel. We'll see you then. The updated depth chart for the Seattle Seahawks. A few notable changes since the injury to George Fant that has placed him on IR. Let's get to it and break it down right now. We begin with the quarterback position. That remains unchanged. Geno is still your QB1. Sam Howell is your QB2, and there's no plans for that to change anytime soon, that the Seahawks will roll with those two holding down the QB1 and QB2 spots. Unless there's an injury of sorts, this will be what the Seahawks roll with for the time being. Meanwhile, the running back position for Seattle, Kenneth Walker a little banged up at the moment. Zach Charbonnet getting the majority of the workload with Kenny McIntosh as your RB3. And we got to see a little bit more of Kenny McIntosh this past week in the Seahawks win against the Dolphins. And you think about this. When the Seahawks run game was struggling against the New England Patriots, all I heard about from y'all for a good week was about how Zach Charbonnet was not that guy. He's not a very good running back. We badly need Kenneth Walker back and all that. And there is some truth to that. The Seahawks are better with Kenneth Walker, obviously. But I have told you, and I'll say it again, I think Zach Charbonnet is a starter quality running back in this league, and I thought he did a really good job last week. And as long as the offensive line is doing their part, Zach Charbonnet can succeed and play at a high level, and I think he's going to continue to deliver. I think Kenny McIntosh is going to have an impact in the receiving game as well. The Seahawks running back room, even with the injury to K9, is fine as far as I'm concerned. The wide receivers for Seattle, these guys have looked pretty dang good to start 2024. DK Metcalf's been on fire to start the season. Back-to-back 100-yard receiving games. Also set the franchise record for the most 50-plus yard receiving touchdowns ever in franchise history. Tyler Lockett has had some moments. JSN has looked pretty solid. And the guys behind him there with Jake Bobo and Chenault and company there. I like this receiver room. I know there's been some rumblings, some potential trade rumors on the Seahawks targeting another receiver, but I just don't see the need. I think the Seahawks are in great shape when it comes to the receiver room, and their receiver room is right up there among the best of the best in the National Football League with that three-headed monster. How would you grade the Seahawks depth chart? A, B, C, D, or F? What do you think of this group right now with a 3-0 record? I got to go with a B+. I think that's more than fair. What do you think? Give me your grade on our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break while the ad's playing. Get your votes in and let us know. The tight end room for the Seahawks features Noah Fant, who had a breakthrough performance last week against the Dolphins. Pharaoh Brown behind him. You got Barner and Russell there. And we've seen the Seahawks start to use Brown a little bit more in the passing game as well. Be very curious to see how that ultimately all works out with these tight ends. The offensive line, the biggest question mark for the Seattle Seahawks right now, has been all over the place. Charles Cross has been fantastic, but everything else, like a Tomlinson has struggled. Connor Williams has been up and down. Anthony Bradford has not looked good. He's hanging on to that job right now with Christian Haynes behind him, and Haynes is getting more playing time as the weeks go on. And then Stone Forsythe at the right tackle position right now has had his struggles. He has not looked good. Thank heavens for Charles Cross. My goodness. What would this offensive line be without Charles Cross? I mean, he has played at a Pro Bowl level this year. He's looked fantastic to start the season, but everything else has left a lot to be desired. We're all sitting here saying, it's had a lot of problems. Even Connor Williams, who was supposed to come in and be this big difference maker, he was horrible against the New England Patriots. Hopefully he got a bad game out of the way, but my goodness, yes, you're 3-0, but you wonder how much longer can this offensive line, as much as they're struggling, keep this going where they don't hold everyone else back? That remains to be seen at this point. What's your confidence level in the Seahawks offensive line? How are you feeling about this group where things stand right now? Scale it for me 1 through 10. I'm about a 3 of 10, and that 3 is just about Charles Cross, not about anybody else. Weigh in and let us know. Byron Murphy jerseys are on sale now. Chatsports.com/Murphy is where you can get yours. We have the home jersey, the road jersey, add a 9 to that one. And we got the men's options, women's options, and free shipping is also available. Go see for yourself, chatsports.com/Murphy. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. That's chatsports.com/Murphy. Speaking of Byron Murphy, let's go to the defensive line now, which is a little banged up right now. The injury to Leonard Williams, the injury to Byron Murphy. Each player left in the first half against Miami did not return. We're awaiting their status to see where they will ultimately end up, if they're good to play on Monday or not. TBD on that. Jonathan Hankins has been solid. Jaron Reed has looked really good. What I find fascinating when I look at this defensive line is that entering 2024, this was a group that was thought to be a strength of this Seahawks team. And now here we are, week 4, and the depth is already being tested here for this group. And they can't afford even one more injury at this point. With as bad a luck as they have with the injuries here, look, I just hope that they can get healthy, that they can ride this out, because this is a really good group. But you got to play through it. It's just not a good situation with how the injuries have fared for these defensive linemen right now. The linebacker room for Seattle, also a little banged up. Jerome Baker and Uchenna Nwosu on the injury report. Nwosu trying to make an effort to be back potentially as early as this week against the Detroit Lions. We'll wait on further details there when it comes to his status. Dodson has looked really good to this point. Boye Mafe, Derek Hall, they've been fantastic. Tremont Jones has had a few moments here and there. Even what we've seen from Tyrese Knight and Drake Thomas, both those guys have been solid filling in for Jerome Baker at this point. And for me, this is all about the head coach, Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald came in and said, we got to do better here. And the big point of emphasis for him was coverage, that these guys needed to do a better job as coverage linebackers. That's why he brought in Baker. That's why he brought in Dodson. And they've answered the call at this point, even with the injuries that they've suffered. They are working through things. And so far, this group is holding up great, and they're better than what they were advertised to be heading into 2024. Corner room for Seattle. Rick Woolen looks good. He's bounced back after a down sophomore season. Devon Witherspoon's been fantastic. He looks like one of the best corners in football. And then beyond that, you have some serious question marks. We've seen the good, we've seen the bad from Trey Brown. The depth has been a concern with D. Williams and, of course, Nehemiah Pritchett as well. One thing to keep an eye on with this corner room here, as we get closer to the trade deadline, and also depending on injuries, of course, could we see the Seahawks potentially make a move at the corner position? Could they potentially go for a free agent? Could they make a trade at the deadline here? I think that's going to be something to monitor, especially depending on Trey Brown's play and Trey Brown's health status. He's missed a lot of time over the years. Is he going to hold up by the time the Seahawks get to the trade deadline? That's a great question. We'll wrap up here with our last couple of position groups in a moment, but first let's ask you, who is the MVP of the Seahawks defense right now? You know me, I love me some Devon Witherspoon. That's my answer. But you could go with Derek Hall, Boye Mafe, Leonard Williams. Who's the MVP right now? Weigh in, let us know. The safety group for Seattle. This was another position group that had some question marks entering 2024, but Julian Love has looked fantastic. He's played at a Pro Bowl level. Rayshawn Jenkins has stepped up as far as that goes. Kobe Bryant, Kayvon Wallace are some solid depth pieces there, and they're really just getting started. I think that we're going to see more of the three safety look with Kobe Bryant potentially out there and getting the most out of these guys. And Smitty and I were talking about this earlier, that the Seahawks have such a great track record, a great history when it comes to the safety room. When you think about the guys that have played this position, dating back to the Legion of Boom days and all that, and the legacy, right? You know, replacing a guy like Quandre Diggs. I'm not going to mention Jamal because that's a whole nother story. But, you know, replacing a guy like Quandre, who played at such a high level for such a long time and was a leader of this defense, Julian Love stepped in and done a great job. Rayshawn Jenkins has stepped in. They have prided themselves at that position group, and the results are still continuing there. Last and least, the special teams unit for Seattle. Jason Myers is still your kicker, as is Michael Dixon and Chris Stoll at the long snapper position. Chenault's been doing the kick returns for the most part with D. Williams. D. Williams on punt return duties as well there for Seattle. Appreciate you joining us here on Seahawks Today for continuing Seahawks coverage. There's only one thing you need to do. That is subscribe to the channel. Help us reach our next goal, 58,000 subscribers right here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now. We'll see you next time. All right. So that is your breakdown of the Seahawks depth chart, piece by piece. How would you grade the depth chart, A, B, C, D, or F? Smitty rejoins me right now. Smitty, some big changes since week one. What do you think about where the roster stacks up right now?
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're 3-0, and that's not something a lot of teams can say. credit to Mike Macdonald and the new staff, but credit to the players as well as, the newcomers who are also on the team. I mean, Byron Murphy has been solid so far. Rayshon Jenkins has been solid. Tyrel Dodson has been exactly what I thought he would be when he signed with Seattle. And that's a leader and a just all-around skilled player, multi-tooled player on this defense. I'm thrilled with how they've played, but we can all recognize at the same time they haven't played a great quarterback talent yet at all, and they beat Bo Nix by 1 score. They beat Jacoby Brissett in overtime, and Skylar Thompson they took care of, but a real test comes this week with Detroit, and we'll find out whether this roster is built to play with the big dogs in the NFC or not.
Yeah, I think it's a great point. Matrix getting in the chat saying, I'm worried about the O-line. We're a great team, but that O-line needs to improve. And, we've mentioned, they talked to Jason Peters. We've talked a lot about David Bakhtiari. The sad reality, Smitty, is that there's just no perfect solution to the issues the Seahawks offensive line is going through. Even if you were to bring in some of these guys we've talked about, if you make a trade, this isn't going away.
Yeah. I mean, there is great energy around this roster, and the way that everybody's buying into Mike Macdonald and what he has going on. I'm excited for what's to come for this roster, and I think we can safely assume now that they're going to be in the mix for a playoff spot at minimum.
Yeah.
Like they're
leading the division by 2 games right now.
They're going to have a real chance to win this division. They're already up 2 damn games. Let's go.
Yeah. They're in great shape. All right, up next is game preview time. We will talk about the Seahawks matchup with the Lions. Let's go to the Super Chat menu real quick. So we're at $405 right now in Super Chats. If we get to 500, then not only will I do the Jungle Boot, but I will do the marathon. We started this a couple weeks ago. The marathon is where I drink the Jungle Boot, and then we follow that up with a beer bong and run it through. And I've seen, a lot of money come in from Buster Customs today. He's sending $400. Everyone else is sending about $6. And so I don't want to make Buster's have to throw down another 100 to make this happen if he doesn't have to. If you guys can help out and help us get to that $500 mark and we can get there collectively, then that'd be fantastic. We'll pay that off after we're done with these 2 segments. Super Chat menu today. First time Super to get the Seahawks chant. $5 do the old McDonald song. $10 to take some shots. $25 to do a beer bong. $50 to do the Seahawks sauce. Up next, Seahawks Lions preview. We'll go over my keys to victory. We'll break down the injury report. We will also give you my prediction for this game as well. Smitty, before I give my prediction, how are you feeling about this game? This is a tough matchup Monday.
I think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be high scoring. Give me Seahawks 30, Lions 27.
Okay, 30-27. I'd take that. Win's a win. Any way you can get it. Road performance as well. We'll see. All right, here we go. Seahawks Lions preview Monday Night Football. Let's talk about it right now as we continue here on our live edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. It is week number 4 in the National Football League as your Seattle Seahawks face their toughest test yet, taking on the Detroit Lions on Monday Night Football from Ford Field in Detroit. And the Seahawks come in as underdogs, 3.5 with the over-under at 46.5. Seattle with a perfect 3-0 record, facing a very good Detroit Lions team coming off an NFC Championship game appearance. But the Seahawks have had their way with Detroit, with wins in Detroit the last 2 seasons. Can they make it 3 in a row? Coming up on this edition of Seahawks Today, we'll go over my keys to victory. We'll break down the injury report, and I'll give you my prediction as well. All that and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. If you're ready for game day, spam S in the comments section. That is our rallying cry here on Seahawks Today. We want you to get in that chat and feel like you're sitting down at Lumen Field. You're not really sitting down. You're standing up at Lumen Field. I want to see as many S's as we can, at least 300. If you're ready for game day, you want the Seahawks win. If we get 300 S's, that guarantees victory. If you don't believe me, well, let's find out right now. Spam S in the comment section. We'll get started with today's show. The injury report for the Seahawks at the time of this recording has some very notable names, including Uchenna Nwosu with an MCL trying to make his return back. Jerome Baker with a hamstring injury. He, of course, has been banged up for a little while now. Kenneth Walker missed the last 2 games with an oblique injury. Leonard Williams got injured in the win against the Dolphins with a ribs injury, while Byron Murphy also got injured against the Dolphins with a hamstring injury. All 5 of these players are questionable. Meanwhile, for Detroit, their injury report is a lot longer than the Seahawks injury report is. Brian Branch, their star second-year safety out of Alabama, he's questionable with a concussion. Ennis Rakestraw Jr., the rookie corner out of Mizzou with a hamstring injury, he's questionable. Isaiah Williams with an abdomen, he's questionable. Alex Analonzone with a concussion, he is questionable. You got Adif 2, I'm just going to leave it at that, with an ankle injury, he's questionable. Frank Ragnow, who has been one of the better centers in football, he's questionable with a pec injury. McNeil with a shoulder, questionable. And then Sam Laporta, their star tight end, is also questionable with an ankle injury. So a lot for Detroit. 8 total for Detroit, 5 for Seattle on the injury report there. So let's start with our keys to victory. What's it going to take to get a win against Detroit? For me, it starts with Aden Hutchinson. Aden Hutchinson, the former number 2 overall pick out of Michigan, has been fantastic since he entered the National Football League. And now to begin the 2024 season, we're really starting to see him look like one of the best pass rushers in all of football. He's already got 6.5 sacks in the first 3 games to go along with 6 tackles for loss, 16 tackles, and 1 forced fumble. He's been fantastic. And you think about this, where he lines up, it's not going to be Charles Cross taking on Aden Hutchinson. He lines up on the opposite side, where, yes, Stone Forsythe is. Oh, boy, I'm nervous as hell about that. And I think everybody should be nervous as hell about that, of Stone Forsythe having to take on Aden Hutchinson. That ain't good, folks. That ain't good at all. Seahawks offensive line has been atrocious to begin this season. And now you have to take on Aden Hutchinson with that guy trying to defend him, trying to keep Geno protected. Oh, boy. Oh. Man, they're going to need to double team, triple team him. I mean, God, that does not sound great at all. Today's show is sponsored by BetUS. BetUS is the exclusive sportsbook partner of Chat Sports. If you go to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code Seahawks125, you will get a 125% deposit bonus on your first deposit. It's like getting a pizza, then getting another pizza for free and an extra slice. The odds for this game, the Lions slight favorites at 3.5. The over-under set at 46.5. What is your bet going to be? Get your bets in now. Chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Seahawks125. Get in the comment section. Let me know. You going with the Seahawks? Type S. You going with the Lions? Type L. Weigh in. Let us know what your bet's going to be this Monday night. Number 2, run the damn ball. Seahawks had some success in the run game last week against Miami. A breakthrough performance for Zach Charbonnet. Whether we see Kenneth Walker or not, the Seahawks need to commit to the run game and make it work with Charbonnet. And you see what he's done. His yards per carry went up quite a bit from what it was a week prior. He was averaging about 2.7 yards per carry. Now that's up to about 3.5. He's had 3 rushing touchdowns. He's been impactful in the receiving game as well. I want to see the Seahawks effectively use Zach Charbonnet and run the football accordingly. And you think about what the Seahawks rushing rankings are at this point in time. Although they had that solid performance running the football there in week 3, and you had a good game from Kenneth Walker in week 1, their rushing statistics as a whole are not that good. The rush play percentage, 20th in the league. Yards per rush, 3.9. That's 26th in the league. Remember, you got to get 4 yards every play, and they're coming up short of that. If you get 4 yards every run play, you win. They're a little bit short. Rush yards per game, 25.0. That's 18th. Rush yards per game, 23rd. But they're doing a good job getting in the end zone. The rush touchdowns per game is 4th in the league at 1.7 right now. Run the damn ball. Number 3, DK. Touchdowns all day. He rules. You guys know it. DK has been fantastic the last 2 weeks. And for me, one of the things I notice when you watch DK Metcalf play, watch this closely, almost every single time that DK goes off and has a big game, and he had a big game last year against Detroit, it's almost every time when they get him involved from the jump, when they set the tone early. And with the way that he's playing right now, 13th in catches, 6th in receiving yards, tied for 10th in receiving touchdowns, why would you not get the ball to DK Metcalf? Find him early, find him often. The stats for him this year, 17 catches, 262 yards, coming off back-to-back 100-yard receiving games, setting the franchise record for most 50-plus yard touchdowns. He's got the hot hands right now. Fade it to DK early, get him the football, and let him show up and show out. Who will be the Seahawks MVP against the Detroit Lions? Is it going to be DK? Is it going to be somebody else? Get in that comment section. Let us know who you believe will be the difference in a win for Seattle. We'll be live right here on Seahawks Today for Seahawks and Lions. Our coverage begins with our hour-long pregame show at 4:15 Pacific time. That's 7:15 on the East Coast. We'll be live throughout the game. Smitty's going to be here. You will not want to miss it. Going to be a great time right here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe now, youtube.com/Seahawks TV, and we will see you then. Number 4, Jared Goff, the starting quarterback for the Detroit Lions. He's been very solid the last couple of seasons. Had arguably the best season of his career last year with Detroit. And one of the things that I notice when you look at this Detroit Lions situation is they've done a very good job of protecting Jared Goff. You got to have protection, right? And for me, I'm looking at, of the statistics, think about this. He's been sacked just 3.6 of the Lions' offensive snaps. That's 4th best in the NFL. They've done a really good job protecting him. Comparably speaking, on the Seahawks end of things, their sack rate is about 9.82% on defensive snaps. That's 8th best in the NFL. So what that tells me is something's got to give. Either the Seahawks pass rush is going to be ineffective and that Jared Goff is going to have all day to throw the football and do his thing and let it sling, or the Seahawks defense is going to be able to have their way with the Detroit Lions offensive line. Something has to give. If you're the Seahawks, hopefully it's on your end of things where the pass rush is effective. And the guy I'm watching for is Derek Hall. Derek Hall had a great game last week against Detroit, against Miami, rather. The best game of his career. Had 2 sacks in that game. He's tied for the team lead in sacks with 3. Also has a forced fumble and a TFL. Watch out for Derek Hall. I want to see him build on what he did last week. And finally, on our last key to victory for the Seahawks, it's playing mistake-free football. Look, you're going on the road. You're taking on one of the best teams in the National Football Conference. You cannot play with mistakes. You have to go out there and essentially play a perfect game if you want to win this one on the road. And the Seahawks, despite having a 3-0 record, have not necessarily won these by a pretty fashion, by any stretch of the imagination. You look at what they've done. Let's break down a couple things. Let's start with the turnover category. Seahawks are 21st in turnover margin per game, 19th in giveaways per game, 13th in takeaways per game, and 22nd in interceptions thrown percentage at 2.91%, all except the takeaways in the bottom half of the league. And it's not just the turnovers. The Seahawks also got to cut down on the penalties. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Stone Forsythe, Laken Tomlinson. All of y'all got to do a better job. Penalties per play's got to go down. Penalties per game's got to go down. Penalty yardage needs to go down. Penalty yards, all of it. You're in the bottom half of the league. Clean up the little stuff. Do the little things right, because you are going to need a perfect performance if you're going to beat this Detroit Lions team. In a moment, I will give you my official prediction for how I see this game playing out on Monday night. But first, I want to ask you, what's your confidence level in the Seahawks being the Lions? Scale it for me 1 through 10 and let us know. To recap, our keys to victory. What's it going to take to beat Detroit? Containing Aden Hutchinson, running the damn football, getting DK involved early, getting after Jared Goff, and playing mistake-free. If the Seahawks do all those things, they'll be in good shape. But I don't think that happens, folks. I got to tell you, I'm worried about Aden Hutchinson. To me, that's a mismatch that the Lions are going to expose taking on Stone Forsythe, and that, to me, is the difference in this football game. I hate to do it. I hope I'm wrong, but I think Seattle gets handed their first loss of the year. Give me the Lions 27-24. If you're ready for game day, you're excited for Seahawks football on Monday night, spam S in the comments section, and we will see you next time right here on Seahawks Today. All right. Confidence level and beat the Lions 1 through 10. What do you guys think? Smitty, I know I'm about to get eviscerated by the chat for picking against the Seahawks here, but I mean, like, I can't help it. Stone Forsythe against Aden Hutchinson, that's not good. That's a problem.
It's a mismatch, and I think you're right. I think Detroit is smart enough to exploit that, and they will.
Ryan says 28-17 Hawks. The Chicken King says 34-27 Hawks. Mike says Tyler Jones. Say it ain't so. I know. I hate to do it, but you left me no choice. You left me no choice with this mismatch here. If Hutchinson, Smitty, were on the other side taking Charles Cross, I would feel so much better. But that isn't happening.
100%, but it's just not going to happen, and it's unfortunate.
And the Seahawks aren't moving Charles Cross to right tackle either.
No, it's not how that works. Plus, the Lions are just moving.
Steve says, why, Tyler? I told you why. Aden Hutchinson against Stone Forsythe. That's why. Why? Because Ephraim, that's why. $5 super chat coming in from Ian. We owe him the old Macdonald song. It says, chance we see Christian Haynes get more playing time with Bradford doing so poorly. We'll include this in the mailbag as well, Ian. But, yeah, I mean, for me, I want to see more Christian Haynes. We've heard Mike Macdonald say we're going to see more Christian Haynes. But, let's hope so. It can't get any worse than what we've seen, I think, at this point. So, Ian, thanks for the $5 super chat. Here's the old Macdonald song for you. Old MacDonald had a farm, C-I-E-I Hawks. There we go. Thank you, Ian, for that. Super chat menu. We are $90 away from the marathon of the Jungle Boot plus a beer bong all at the same time. Last week, I think I was under 30 seconds on the marathon. Can we do it again? Are you guys going to give me the opportunity? Here's the super chat menu. First time super chatters get the Seahawks chant. $5 to sing the old McDonald song. $10 to take some shots. $25 to a beer bong. $50 to get sauced with the Seahawks sauce. If you guys would like to participate. 90 away from that with one more segment to go. Will we do it before we finish up this final segment? It's up to you guys. It's your show. It's your show. You know, I got to say, for people mad at me about making that pick, didn't I just explain? Like, do you really trust Stone Forsythe against Aden Hutchinson? I don't. Until I see otherwise, why should I? Why should I? That's what it comes down to. I'm going to be real with y'all. I'm not going to always tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear, and to me, that's a mismatch. That's a problem. Up next, final segment. It is our mailbag. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat. Smitty, do we need some more questions?
Oh, yeah. Definitely need some more questions.
How many more do you think we need?
I'll like pretty much all of them except for Ian.
Okay.
Ian's in.
So, Busters came through. Busters came through, so it will be a marathon after this segment. Let's see. We'll get Busters on screen in a moment. But we do need more questions to the mailbag. I'm putting 2 minutes on the clock. I need 4 questions. 4 questions for the mailbag. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat. I see Ian's in the mailbag, but we need some others. Steve, Mike, Ryan, Matrix. We can put that in the mailbag.
No, we can't.
We can't put that in the mailbag?
No, that's not a question.
Where's the faith? He's asking me about my faith in the Seahawks.
Oh, stop it.
Okay. Smitty said no. Matrix, you can type F Smitty. He said no on that for the mailbag, not me.
Matrix, use hashtag Seahawks, and I'll automatically put you in, but ask a real question.
Yes. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat. I need some questions. 2 minutes on the clock. Get your questions in. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the show. Did Buster Super pull up?
Not yet.
Okay.
5 seconds.
Okay, cool. Santiago, I don't blame you, but I believe in our guys. Believe me, I hope I'm wrong. I hope I am wrong. I would love nothing more than to be proven wrong.
There we go.
There we go. Buster Customs with a $90 Super Chat. Bang! Done it. Done. Did it. Everybody spam Busters. Busters, I know it's 90, but that's close enough. That's another spot in the Emerald Club. Nominate who you want, or we can let the chat decide. Up to you. But Busters, unbelievable. We will pay off after this next segment. We'll do the marathon. We'll do the boot. And we'll do the beer bong back to back. It'll be Electric Factory. Busters, everybody spam Busters in the chat. Keep getting your questions in. I see Mike with a question. I see CH with a question. Matrix, Caleb, Lon. Give me one more. Give me at least one more question, then we can start this segment. Everybody spam Busters. Busters, let me know who you want in the mailbag. In the Emerald Club. Matrix with a $5 Super Chat. And we'll do the old Macdonald song for this. Where's the faith? Seahawks all day, and you know it. Matrix, I told you exactly how I felt. I've picked the Seahawks the last 3 weeks. I'm being honest with you. I have to be real with y'all. I had to be objective. It's part of my job. And, I mean, simple as that. Like Aden Hutchinson, it's a mismatch. Going up against Stone, I don't feel great about that at all. Old MacDonald had a farm. Seahawks. There we go. Thank you, Matrix. Much appreciated. Thanks for the super chat. Let's see. Did we get enough questions? What did Busters decide on the Emerald Club? Cheeverton with a $5 super chat. Do you think Dan Campbell helps or hurts his team by going for it so much on 4th down? You know, Cheeverton, I like Dan Campbell. I think he's one of the better coaches in football. What I would say, Smitty, why I would answer yes to this, is even when it doesn't work, he's still getting his guys to buy in. He's showing confidence in his team when he goes for it on 4th down. So personally, I like being more aggressive than I do conservative. I think Dan Campbell does more good than bad, personally speaking, with as aggressive as he is with those situations.
Yeah, I mean, it's if it was bad, then he would have stopped it by now.
Buster says put Ryan Taylor in the Emerald Club. I see you in the chat, Ryan Taylor. Ryan, welcome to the Emerald Club, our newest member. And you're going to be the first one, Ryan, to go on the foot of the boot. Everybody spam Ryan. Show Ryan some love. Welcome to the Emerald Club. There you are, Ryan Taylor. You are now a Hall of Famer here on Seahawks Today. Everybody spam Ryan. Show Ryan some love. Welcome to the Emerald Club. Glad to have you here, man. We need another question. One more question, and we'll start the mailbag. Ryan says, hey, guys, hey. There we go. Steve's got a question. Asking about Abe Lucas. And you guys can keep sending in your questions as we go through the mailbag as well. Use that hashtag Seahawks for Super Chat, and we'll take care of you accordingly here. Mailbag time, and then we'll wrap up, and we'll call it a day. Afterwards, we will do Das Boot, along with the Beer Bong, the Marathon, to wrap up our Wednesday live show here. Ryan saying, thanks, Busters. Yeah, of course. Busters inducting 5 people today in the Emerald Club. First time ever, we inducted a hurricane. A hurricane. That damn hurricane that kept me away from Tampa today. That's where I should be right now. I should be on a plane at this very moment. Instead, I'm here with you guys. But you know what? I've had a fun day today. I'm off tomorrow. I'll enjoy myself accordingly. Here we go. Mailbag time, our final segment, news and rumors and your Seattle Seahawks. Let's break it down here on this live edition of Seahawks Day. Final segment begins now. You're watching Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. You got questions, I got answers, so it's time to touch our bags and drop our sack on this edition of Seahawks Today. This comes from our live show that we do on Wednesday afternoons, where you guys submit questions to us. We react to them in real time. And you may be saying to yourself, man, I would love to be a part of your next mailbag segment. Well, folks, you can too. And here's how. Subscribe now to Seahawks Today. Turn on notifications. Join the Noti Gang. That way you're the first to know when we have new content on the channel, when we have breaking news, when we go live, our watch parties and all that. Join the Noti Gang. Spam Noti Gang in the comments section, and we'll get started with today's show. We begin with a $5 super chat from Ian. Ian writes in, hashtag Seahawks, chance we see Christian Haynes getting more playing time with Anthony Bradford doing so poorly. I think we're going to see more Christian Haynes as the season goes along. And Mike Macdonald has talked about that over the last week, saying that with how much we've seen the struggle bus from Anthony Bradford and Christian Haynes developing, just learning how the NFL works, that it's going to be a rotation of the two. I don't know how quickly that we see Haynes potentially take the job away from Bradford, but if Bradford continues to struggle, that might be sooner than later that Haynes ultimately wins that job. So, yes, I believe, Ian, that we'll see more Christian Haynes in the coming weeks ahead. Chief for 10 writes in, do you think Dan Campbell helps or hurts his team by going for it so much on 4th downs? Well, my hope is that on Monday night that it hurts. But I think for the most part, when you look at what Dan Campbell does, even when it bites his team in the ass, when he goes for it when he shouldn't, and they make the wrong play call, whatever it may be, what happens is that when you show the trust in your offense to go for it in those situations, that instills confidence in your team. You get the buy-in. You get guys playing a little bit harder for their head coach. So even when it doesn't work out, you still get everybody on the same page. So I understand where you're coming from, but I personally like Dan Campbell's aggressive coaching style. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. I think Detroit's got a very good one there. I think it does more good than it does bad, but it's a very good question, Chieferton. Matrix says, where's the faith? Seahawks all day, and you know it. So this is in reference to me picking against the Seahawks this week. There it is, right there below. Yes, I took the Lions to beat the Seahawks 27-24. And here's the deal. I've explained this before. I'll explain it again, and this is why I'm picking against Seattle this week. You always try to find the individual matchups, and specifically, you look at the line of scrimmage, all right? And what's going on the right side? Well, you got Aden Hutchinson on one side, who's on fire, 6 sacks in the first 3 games. Looks like one of the best pass rushers in football. And who is he facing? Stone Forsythe. Oh, boy. Oh, God. Comparably speaking, Charles Cross is playing left tackle. He's not going to be playing right tackle. That is a mismatch. And I think that's something that Detroit's going to exploit. And even if you try to put a double team on Aden Hutchinson, that's going to open up things for other guys. To me, that's the problem here. I don't see the Seahawks overcoming that. I hope I'm wrong, and hopefully the Seahawks can contain Aden Hutchinson, find a way to win this football game. But at least on paper, that doesn't look good, especially on the road. I like the Lions, but hopefully I'm wrong. We'll see. The Kingdom writing in, could you see the Seahawks making a trade for Jonathan Jones? Jonathan Jones is fascinating to me because you look at the Seahawks corner room and you see the way Reek's playing, the way Devon is playing. They got some good options there with those top 2 corners. But beyond that, you got some major question marks. Trey Brown's been up and down. The other guys have not done a ton at this point. Jonathan Jones, there's a decent chance he gets dealt prior to the trade deadline. And you also have to factor in Trey Brown's injury history. This guy's gotten banged up a lot. When we get to the trade deadline, is Trey Brown still going to be healthy? Is he going to be playing at a high level? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't think that the Seahawks are trading for Jonathan Jones tomorrow, but he's a name to potentially circle back on in a couple weeks, reevaluate the position, see where things stand, and make a move. I mean, he had 4 picks just a couple of years ago. I take him on my team. He's one to monitor. I don't think it's happening yet, but let's circle back when that trade deadline gets closer. Should the Seahawks trade for Jonathan Jones? T for trade, P for pass. You have 2 options. Choose wisely. Tony Hawk writes in, where is Tony Hawk these days? Would it make sense for the Seahawks to try and trade for Garrett Bowles? Yes. Yes. It absolutely would. Garrett Bowles on the trade block at this point for Denver. Very solid football player. He's been good on the Denver Broncos offensive line. His grades not great to start the year in these first 3 games. Pass block grade 66.5, run block grade 55.6, overall grade 56.8. But outside of Charles Cross, he's played better than anyone the Seahawks have right now. And when you look at the situation with George Fant on IR, Abraham Lucas, we don't know when he's coming back. I mean, you're starting to search for answers. Garrett Bowles could be the answer. Bowles could be the answer you're looking for. Watch out. To me, I think that potentially makes sense. Should the Seahawks trade for Garrett Bowles? Y for yes, N for no. What do you guys think? Weigh in the comments section and let us know what you think. We have Byron Murphy jerseys on sale now at chatsports.com/Murphy. Add a 9 to that one. Got the home jersey, the road jersey. We have free shipping available, men's and women's sizes. Go see for yourself. Chatsports.com/Murphy to get yours today. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Free shipping included. That's chatsports.com/Murphy. Time for a few more. My Choctaw brethren, Steve J. writing in. Is Abraham Lucas unofficially done due to his knee? It's too early to say at this point. But I think if you're the Seattle Seahawks, even if Abe comes back, you need to start preparing for your future without Abraham Lucas. Because remember what Pete Carroll said last season, that this was a chronic issue with Abraham Lucas. Even if he comes back 100%, even if he plays well, that doesn't mean that it's not going to come back and it's not going to be an issue again. If I'm the Seahawks, I'm trying to just get by this year at that right tackle spot. Just make do for the time being. And then next offseason, you got to go get a right tackle. I mean, Abe potentially if he gets healthy, could stick around and be a backup, but he can't be your starter next year. Whether it's draft, trade, free agency, something, the clock is ticking on the Abe Lucas era in Seattle. Caleb writes in, you think Bobo is going to get some good rotation time in? I don't see it changing. I think that Jake Bobo kind of remains what he is as that number 4 option. The Seahawks go heavy with DK and Tyler and JSN. We saw more Noah Fant this past week. But for as much as you want more Bobo, and believe me, I understand you guys want more Bobo. You spam more Bobo in the comments and all that. But I just don't see it changing. Barring an injury, Jake Bobo just is what he is. He's that number 4 guy, and that's how it's going to be at this point going forward. Daniel says, if you had to make 3 moves for the Seahawks with or at in cap space, what moves would you make? Offensive tackle immediately. That would be the obvious one. I think finding potential help at corner would be another one. And personally, I know people disagree with me on this, but I think the tight end room has some question marks. Noah Fant played better this past week, but you don't have a ton of options beyond there of true receiving threats. So with that said, do I think anything's going to happen? We'll see. But those moves right now, like if you can find just a little bit of help, that could be the difference in this team being a serious threat or not. Last question. The Boskin writes in, Jason Peters is too old and slow. You think Stone is slow? We need to go for a younger tackle on free agency or even go after Evan Neal from the Giants, cheap, healthy player under a long-term contract, low trade hit. Evan Neal's been awful since he's come in the league. Remember, he was picked ahead of Charles Cross. They tried moving him to right tackle. He got benched. But I'm down to try anything at this point. I mean, maybe even try heroin. I'm kidding. At this point in time, when it comes to the right tackle position, the Seahawks have a lot of problems. You know, whether it's Peters or Bakhtiari or Evan Neal, I mean, you can't live with what you got with Stone Forsythe. I mean, that can't be the answer. You need to do something. Subscribe now to Seahawks Today for continuing Seahawks coverage. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. I'm Tyler Jones. We'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today. All right, so up next, we will pay off the boot and the beer bong and do the marathon in just a moment. But I'll say this. Before we do those things, I do have some Seahawks sauce here. If we can get, while I'm getting stuff ready, we can make this an extended marathon. Yes, Busters, I know I owe you a boot. I'm about to pay it off right now. I got to go fill it up and all that. So I'll make it even longer marathon. If we get to 600, we're 90 away from that. Then we will go boot, to beer bong, to Seahawks sauce for an extended marathon. It's up to you guys. 90 away. I'll go boot ready. Smitty's going to take over for a bit, and we'll continue as we roll along here on this live edition of Seahawks Today. Smitty, all yours. I will be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yo, what up, 12s? Are you guys going to make him do all that? That's...
I said I would drink a lot. I'm on vacation now.
He said he would drink a lot. He said he should be on the beach in Tampa Bay. You guys going to make it happen? 90 away. He's going to get the boot ready and made all now. Damn, my chest is hairy. What do you guys honestly think is going to happen at the line of scrimmage on Monday's game? My bad, Bustums. Bustums is crazy. Buster's Customs. Am I loud enough now? Am I at a good volume now? What up, Matrix? What do you guys think is going to happen in the line of scrimmage on Monday? Because I think it's going to be a disaster against Aden Hutchinson. Geno Smith's going to have to get the ball out quick. Evan Neal is a good move as we have a great O-line coach, and the Giants are a horrible organization. They can't coach anything. I don't know, man. Carmen Brasado or Carmen Priscillo in New York right now has coached up a really solid offensive line. And they're overperforming right now in MetLife.
You've seen the Giants a decent amount. Is Evan Neal even seen the field much?
Evan Neal has not seen the field much in New York, much at all, because Jermaine Illuminor is a much better player than him.
All right. So I put my headset back on here. I did not see the 90 come in, and that's more than fine, folks. You guys have done a great job today. So we will wrap up by me doing the boot. Where is my liquor? There's my liquor. Followed by the beer bong, the marathon. There we go. There's a bunch of Patron there. And not to mention, folks, I already have to piss right now, so this is going to be quite the waterfall. Uh-oh, went out of focus there. Let's see. Hello. No, I'm not in focus. Let's see. All right, now I'm back. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. So we will pay this off, and then we'll sign off and call it a day. But I will get the beer bong ready right now, followed by the boot, and we'll see if we can do this all in 30 seconds. I told y'all, I said, I should be on vacation. Trip got canceled. Oh! $90 Venmo from Buster. Yeah. Oh, Buster. I should have known Buster was going to do it. I just saw it, Buster. We'll throw it on screen. So it is going to be quite the marathon here. Here we go, folks. All right. So let's line them up. Here's the boot. Here's the beer bong. And here's the Seahawks sauce. There it is. All of our toys are here. Buster Customs with a $90 Venmo. Bang! Busters, I'll give you another Emerald Club spot as well. Since you just killed it today. I mean, he's getting that helmet. It's going to be his here soon. Busters, let me know who you want on this Emerald Club spot. And we'll induct them first, and then we'll pay these things off, and then we'll get this done. With as much as I have to consume, I'm going to put a minute on the clock. A minute here. We're talking boot, beer bong, and the Seahawks sauce here. I mean, that's a lot going on in under a minute. Steve, my Choctaw brother, the tribe representing. Welcome to the Emerald Club. Everybody spam Steve. Santiago says y'all should watch a watch party. Yeah, I mean, if you've never seen our watch parties before, it gets crazy. I mean, if you think we're having a good time today, just join us for a watch party. Everybody spam Steve. Steve, welcome to the Emerald Club. You are forever an Emerald Club member. Buster's giving you the Emerald Club induction. Everybody show Steve some love. Let's get after it. Here we go. 1 minute on the clock. I want everybody to spam chug. Let's see in this minute, can I do the boot? Can I do the beer bong and the Seahawks sauce? I'm going to have to piss so bad that it's going to hurt when it's over with. But y'all are worth it. You guys are absolutely worth it. You guys make this a fun time, make it worthwhile. Samantha, you got the stopwatch out?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
This is going to be something. I'm going to regret this later, but hey, it's the weekend now. Under a minute. Here we go. Smitty takes over the play-by-play. He's got the clock. Everybody spam chug. We'll count it down from 5 here in a second.
Here we go. A minute on the clock. Shout out to Buster's Customs for making the marathon happen. Here we go. Buster's Customs saying 30 seconds to get it all done.
Oh, no way. No way. All right.
Ian said he's going with the under in the minute.
All right.
Busters, I get it done in 30 seconds for you.
I think my best strategy is to start with the boot. Get it out of the way. Boot, bare bone, salt.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
Liquid touch to the lips. There we go. I started on his start. He's going glasses off for this approach. He really wants to nail that under a minute. And the boot is making solid progress now. Minimal drippage. And boot is down in the record time for Tyler, I must say. I did not lap it, but my goodness, was it quick. Is he going to get it under 30 seconds for Buster's Customs? Could he do it? I mean, it's damn close. Oh, he's struggling on the Seahawks sauce. Is the minute in question now? He's struggling on the Seahawks sauce. So I still see some sauce in there. Unbelievable.
What do I do?
45 seconds.
Oh, yeah! Let's go!
45-3-8 official time.
I'm going to have to pee so bad. Oh, my Lord. That was something.
Yeah.
Wow. This is going to be the worst piss of my life.
Good shit, Teach.
That was nasty stuff.
Did you see the marathon? Boot, beer bong, Seahawks sauce.
You did it all in 45 seconds?
Yes.
And he was slacking on the Seahawks sauce too. He really could have got it done in like 35 seconds if he powered through.
Oh. After all that liquid.
It's a lot of liquid, man.
Yeah.
I'm going to put a hole in that urinal. You need to call Kevin again.
Yeah, Kevin, he's not going to like the results of this urinal afterwards. Oh, my Lord. Buster says I look like Stone Forsythe beat up.
Yeah. Hopefully Stone Forsythe doesn't look as beat up as Tyler.
Yeah, hopefully he does better with Aden Hutchinson than I did. Everybody, we will sign off. Fun show. Buster Customs, you are the man. I love you. I love all the 12s. Folks, thanks for making my day better after my vacation got canceled. But I had a great time with you guys nonetheless. Enjoyed it. Smitty, we'll do it all again on Monday. Seahawks and Lions, 6:15 Central, 7:15 Eastern, 5:15 Mountain, 4:15 Pacific. I think I covered all the time.
You got them all.
We will see you then for Smitty, Jonesy. Have a great night. So long, everybody.